What's going on, guys? Today, I have a really awesome success interview with one of our PTBI students, Jordan Smallwood. Now, Jordan is an ex-NFL athlete. I've seen videos of him catching balls with Patrick Mahomes on the Kansas City Chiefs, which is super, super awesome to have someone of that caliber inside the PTBI program. Now, after Jordan finished his NFL career, he wanted to learn how to take his passion for sports and training and translate that into an online business. And so he started with us last summer in 2023, and very quickly he found a lot of success. He hit his first $7,000 month in his business within his first 30 days of joining PTBI, which is absolutely amazing. And since then, Jordan has been participating in our live events. He's really integrated himself in the community, and he's honestly an inspiration to, fathers. He's a father of two. He's a family man, and he does a really, really awesome job showcasing his life on Instagram, which allows him to get really awesome clients. So I'm bringing him in here to showcase exactly what he did to get his first $7,000 month in his first 30 days and just break down his story and how you can pull inspiration and see success yourself. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right. We got Mr. Jordan Smallwood in the house, man. How are you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm glad to be here. Thank
Good,
you.
good stuff, man. Have you give yourself a little bit of an introduction? So why don't you tell, the people who you are, where you're at, where you're from, give people a full rundown on what your current situation looks like.
So my name is Jordan Smallwood. I am a professional athlete. I am also an online personal trainer. I was born in Sacramento, California, raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Currently living in Dallas, Texas right now. So I'm enjoying the heat right now in Dallas. I am been with PTBI for quite some time, about 6, 7 months. And it's changed my life. PTBI has definitely changed my life. My current situation right now is making lots of money during that process. And then the whole process of just being a, professional athlete. And then in my off season time, being an online personal trainer has definitely changed my lifestyle, and having that free will, be able to move around as I want to, travel when I want to, is a huge blessing.
I love it, man. We're definitely going to be diving into your business, but you come from a very unique background. You've showed me videos of you catching, balls with Patrick Mahomes. So why don't you just take me back to the beginning, man? What was your upbringing like? Obviously sports was a huge part of your life. So what did that career look like from you out of high school, and how did you get up into the professional leagues? Like, just walk me through that process.
Yeah, so growing up, I wanted to play professional football. I think ever since I was 10 years old, my dad gave me a football and he was like, hey, like this can take you places. And, of course, I'm a kid. And so I'm thinking like, yeah, it is what it is.
Mhm.
But as you get older, you realize that like, wow, this is something that could take you places as well. So high school, I was more of the skinnier kid trying to figure out my way. And, I've gotten a lot of no's along that process on the C team, not the B team, but the C team on certain things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to work my butt off. So what I did was I just locked in, I focused in, and I worked every single year and was able to become an All-American in my high school career. Also getting a scholarship to the University of Oklahoma, winning state my senior year in football, was like top 10 or top 5 in the state of Oklahoma coming out. And just having that opportunity to know that if you put your mind, like literally put your mindset on anything, you can make it happen. So in that process, moving forward into the University of Oklahoma, winning 3 Big 12 championship rings, graduating, college debt. So that's definitely huge for me, being the
Mhm.
first graduate of my family. I wanted to set the example, and then moving forward into, playing in the NFL. I played with the Chiefs, Chargers, 49ers, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars. And so those teams, signing that first NFL contract was everything to me. The Chiefs gave me an opportunity to play the game I love to play at the highest level. And that allowed me to open doors for so many other teams that I've played with. And then on top of that, playing in other leagues, the CFL, the XFL, which is now the UFL now. But that opportunity to play professional football and give that hope to other kids that need that hope
Mhm.
is something that I definitely look forward into. And so now moving forward in my life, of course, when sports doesn't go out the way you want it to go out, you have to look for the next thing. What's the next biggest thing that you want to focus on? And I looked into fitness. I was really, really passionate about my fitness, from being that skinny kid to being this big guy that everybody says. It's like, okay, how do I help the next person feel that way? And so I wanted to look into that. I was struggling to do that at first, doing in-person training, helping people out, but I wasn't getting that right audience that I wanted to reach out. And so, working with PTBI, it was something that changed my life just because I got to open and expand how my niche was. And so that allowed me to connect with more men out there, even women as well. But that gave me a more opportunity to be versatile, and that allowed me to actually bring in more income and and live a better lifestyle.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, I have some questions because I heard stories about, kids with dreams making it to the NFL, how it's a very, very slim chance. And it didn't sound like, obviously genetically you're gifted in sports, but it also sounds like you worked really freaking hard. It doesn't sound like you were the best out the gate.
Yeah.
What were some of the things and the habits that you did back in high school that allowed you to separate yourself from the other kids and excel in the sport?
One thing I would truly say is in that high school time, I didn't really go out. I didn't go kick it with friends. One of my biggest things that I really focused on was I want to get a scholarship. Before making it to the NFL was like, okay, I want to get a scholarship because I don't want my parents to pay for schooling. We was already down bad. We were struggling. It was kind of hard to keep a roof over our head. But, my mom and dad did everything they could to make sure that I was in the best schools. So my gift to them was like, you know what, I'm going to work my butt off. And if that's sacrificing something short term, which is definitely not that, it's not that dramatic, but people
Mhm.
make it like, I want to hang out with friends. I want to kick it. I want to do these things. But I'm like, life is going to go on. You're going to be able to do that later on with some money.
Mhm.
So you might as well enjoy that now. But like right now, it should be the grind time. It's to focus. So that's what I did. I focused on that. And I was actually one of the only people to get a D1 scholarship out of my high school. I think the other person was in basketball, but in
Mhm.
football, we won. And it's just that mindset of saying like, okay, like you can set your mindset to anything you want it to be set to, but you just got to stay consistent with it. Of course, there was times where I felt like, man, I want to go hang out with people. I want to go do these things. But then I had to realize like, okay, what's that next step? What's that goal? And I really set goals for myself. I want to win state before I leave this place. We haven't won state in like 4 years. And I told myself I want to be the class to do it. And actually we were the class to do it. And then after that, we won state 7 years in a row. So
Wow.
it's just like you want to set the trend. And that's what I wanted to do. And setting the trend was everything for me.
Where did you learn that from? Goal setting, making those sacrifices. Because I was gonna say, as a kid, like you get so short sighted that you almost feel like you're gonna regret those moments. It doesn't sound like you regret those moments at all, but you also have to be taught that mindset and habit. So where do you feel like you've learned that from?
To be honest, I watch a lot of like motivational speaking videos. It's
Mm.
actually ET hip hop. Just watching him, my dad, how he worked his butt off. Of course, he was super tired. My mom was working her butt off as well. And it's just the mindset of like, okay, like I see them going through the struggle, but I know that they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for not just me, but all of my other siblings. And just watching that, like, how bad do you want to breathe and that mindset and watching other professional athletes at the time, you don't have that much social media. So the things that we watched was like YouTube.
Yep, I remember, bro.
He's looking at every YouTube video, replaying it. But it's just like that was in my head. And I feel like it was something that clicked. And I was like, I have to do it. And if I
Yeah.
don't, I'll let myself down. But I don't know. I think that was just like my biggest thing.
Yeah, no, it's almost like well, first off, self-education, first and foremost. It's not like you have influences in your life or like a mentor that's teaching you these things, but you're seeking out the information you need in order for you to succeed. And then
Yeah.
also it's like you're brainwashing yourself for success, which I'm a really big advocate of that. Is like, dude, you don't need to be around people who are balling. When you have the internet, you can literally absorb as much information as you can on them for free and literally get free mentorship in that sense as well. And you also showcase a really good story that translate over to business as well. It's like, dude, you can just lock in for 12 months and say no and delay your gratification and really set yourself up for success for the rest of your life. It's very, very similar to business as well. But what was the moment like when you finally got, signed? Did you see it coming? Was it a surprise? Was there any sort of like, holy shit, I made it moment? Like, what was that like?
It's funny because when I signed my first NFL contract, it was a competition, basically, right? I didn't get drafted. I actually was undrafted, but I had a phone call from the Chiefs, Ravens, and I think it was another team. I don't remember what the other team was, but told me, hey, like come out to this, camp. It's a 3-day camp. We'll make a decision after that. So in the 3-day camp, it was actually like maybe 60, 70 guys, and it was in all positions. Like it wasn't just like a specific position. So of course, receivers, quarterbacks, DBs, everybody, O linemen, D linemen. And so we're all competing in our spot. And it's crazy because cut day was literally the last day. But the first 2 days, I was like trying to get my name out there. I'm not trying to make plays. I'm trying to get the ball to me. I haven't got the ball thrown to me. And I remember clear as day, I told my agent for the last day, I was like, look, it's not looking too hot, but like, I'm just going to give it everything I got in this last day. Like, I don't know what can happen, but I'm going to try my best. There's a lot of people here. And the last day, like, I mean, I was catching like everything. I mean, like deep bomb, bombs, making big plays. And so after I was like, you know, God, I gave you everything I got, and I'm just gonna just wait for my plane ticket if we have to go home or whatever.
Mhm.
And so as I'm walking into the locker room, you get these guys that are kind of like sitting by the door, and he grabs me and he was like, hey man, come over here real quick. And he was like, go eat over there for a little bit, just hang around here. And I was like, did I get in trouble? Like I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I did wrong. And he only pulled 3 guys. And so I was sitting there and I was looking at the other 2 guys. And I was like, what's going on? They were like, I don't know, man. And so in that process, we were nervous. And then somebody was coming up to us. He was like, don't worry, it's a good thing.
Wow.
And we actually signed. That was the day that we signed. It was me, which was a receiver, a DB, and then one O lineman. And it's funny because I'm still friends with those guys to this day.
Amazing.
It's just like I told my mom, I was like, we made it. Even though it wasn't like I got drafted first round, I didn't do that. Like I always like remembered the first person that gets drafted and the last person that gets picked, they still got to walk through that same door.
Yeah.
Whether you're the first person or last person, you still got to go into that door together sometime.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I was like, man, we made it. And that was like my biggest like wall to say, like, no matter what it is in life, like you can make it happen. You just gotta keep fighting and believing in that whole process. And so any kid that asked me, like, what does it take? And I was like, how bad do you really want it? Like
Yeah.
that's it. And then if you really want it that bad, you're gonna go through injuries, you're gonna go through ups and downs, you're gonna go through people saying you try hard or you're doing too much and you should just come over and hang with us, or you should just come over and smoke this or drink this and like, come lay with me in bed here. Like you gotta
Mhm.
like, no, like I need this. Like I want to focus on this. And once you do that, regardless, at the end of the day, if you don't make it or if you do make it, life goes on, but you said I gave it everything I got. So that's how I tell those kids.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, when you were playing ball, I mean, because obviously professional careers are completely unpredictable. Some people have very long, successful careers. Some people get injured their first year and they're, back on the streets. Did you have any sort of long-term vision of what you wanted to do afterwards? Was coaching always, in the back of your mind? Or what was going through your mind during those years about your long-term vision?
Yeah, so I actually wanted to be like a celebrity trainer. And so like my mindset was like, you know what, I'm gonna train like Kim K's and I'm gonna train like all the people that are like celebrities. Cause you think about it, like they need celebrity trainers. They
Mhm.
need them. And I wanted to start like this business and everything. But like at first I was like, I'm focusing on football. I'm not worried about nothing else. And so after my first team that let me go, it was like a culture shock because then I was actually working at an LA Fitness.
Mhm.
I was like doing the check-ins and I sat there and I was like opening the doors and I'm checking people in. I had a moment to myself and I was like, what am I doing? Like I was playing professional football. I just got released. Like what the heck? Like your life hits you so fast.
Mhm.
And I was blessed and fortunate to get another call from, other teams, at that time. But in that moment, like that 2, 3 months, you're like, what the heck? Life is over with. I'm depressed. I'm beating
Mhm.
myself. I'm moping. But then I was like, you know what? I have to like I have to do something. So as I'm working this job, I'm lifting in there, and then I'm staying focused. I'm going back on the field. I'm running routes. And so then more opportunities came, because I kept believing. But everybody had to go through that. But I realized that like, all right, I'm not going to go with all plan A and not have a plan B, or at least another backup plan. So other plan was I wanted to start doing fitness. And so I started training people as I was like doing stuff on my own. And that's when I started getting like confidence and start talking to people and figuring how to connect with somebody. And in that process, it allowed me to realize, okay, like once football's done, I know what exactly what I want to do and how I want to do it. And then after this whole process of just kind of figuring out like now, being a off season, trying to figure out what's the next step, being 29, you start thinking like, okay, my body's changing. So either I adjust to it or I keep trying, or keep adjusting or, move on to the next career. So I'm in that phase right now where it's like, okay, what's the next thing right now? And I was like, okay, training. And so this is now the process of me working, with PTBI and wanting to expand my information, my knowledge, which wasn't easy because of course, like there's a whole nother world, right?
Mhm.
Working, getting no's and all that stuff. It's like, dang, like what's going on? I'm the football player. You should say yes to me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
easy, you know what I mean? So it was a big blessing, from you guys and the team to really just open my eyes and know how to build my back office and really know how to talk to somebody and figure out their pain points and network with them. And that made a huge difference in my life.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, obviously you came into PTBI, you crushed it. You hit 7K within your first 30 days, which is awesome. We got a really cool plaque with a picture plaque with you. And I remember you came out to the retreat and we went out and you literally came back from the bathroom. You're like, yo, I just got a lead. And I'm like, man, this guy's a walking lead magnet, man. So obviously, like you got some good social skills. So, what advice would you give to people who are just getting started that are scared to talk to people? They're scared to, make that introduction and tell them, who they are and what you do? What's your process behind, showing up as a coach and being confident in your offer and your ability to help people?
I think the biggest thing is if you don't have that confidence and show that like you walk with like the authority figure, a lot of people are not going to trust you. So when I walk around and I go out to places, I literally walk into that place like they need to know who I am,
Mhm.
right? Not like a cockiness. It's just more of like I am confident in myself and I know who I am. And I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to talk to you, right? We're going to talk. I might not talk business out of right off the bat, but I'm going to talk to you. Hey, how you doing, man? Like, what's your name? What do you do for work? Okay, cool. Like, that's really cool, man. That's how long you been here, how long you lived here for. You ask questions to get them to kind of like open up to you. And then that way you're able to have a regular conversation.
Mhm.
If I walk up to you off the bat and say, hey, I'm a coach by my program, they're gonna be like, dude, get the hell away from me. Like I'm having a drink right now, or like I'm with my family. So you really want to read the room. So I would always tell people, just read the room, just be yourself. Like you don't got to be uptight. Like everybody don't want an uptight coach. They want somebody that's gonna be like, man, I get it. Like I know the struggle, I know the pain. I've been through that situation. Now I'm gonna show you how to get out of it, or I'm gonna show
Mhm.
you how to be better in that situation. And so that's what I learned. I think that whole mindset, that whole Vegas retreat was powerful. I mean, I got to see everybody interact. I got to see everybody kind of move around and talk to people. And then I also got to see like, our mentors and how they moved around. You guys are regular human beings. You guys
Mhm.
enjoy life. You guys appreciate what you guys do. And of course you take it serious, but at the same time, you have fun with it. And so that allowed me to go, okay, cool. Like I can do the same thing. I'm about to have fun with it. I'm about to have confidence with it, a little swag with it. And that's what I did. And so anybody that's going through that problem situation of like joining and trying to get into this whole like routine of being an online personal trainer, it's like you got to be open. Like you have to let everything happen for you. Like you can't just be uptight, have a wall, think like, okay, like I want to be like this only. Like you have to let all the good and bad come along with it, and then you know how to adjust and move around certain obstacles. Like even when we had all the videos, and it's like, dang, I do not want to go read all these videos and watch these videos, but that was a way for me to learn how to build my back office. And it's like, okay, there's good and there's bad to it. There's studying, yes, I got to study. Same thing with sports. If I had to study to learn how to run this route and I want to make that big play in the game, it's the same way. It's like I want to make that big sell. You never know what kind of sell you might make. And when you make that first big sell, it's like a game changer after that.
Oh yeah, I love it. Do you think that your professional career had anything to do with your confidence, showing up in the room, being powerful, putting yourself into conversations that might be uncomfortable? I mean, I'm sure that there's many times where you're probably just the smallest kid in the room, rookie, you're walking to a room with professionals and you got to show up and be impressive. Did that have any effect on your ability to talk to people?
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy because in the professional world, there's millionaires in there, right? So like football, your Pat Mahomes is sitting in the corner. He's worth 500 million. Travis Kelsey is worth a lot of money. Like Coach Andy Reid, like if you go in his office, you're sitting up there like this, like please, like I hope this is. But you got to like know how to talk to him. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Yeah, like I definitely appreciate all this opportunity. I'm doing good with myself. You just talk to him, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't know how to talk to those guys. It's kind of hard to not like to adjust to regular people out there in the world.
Yeah.
And so those regular people, they need help. They constantly are asking for help, but they don't know how to, express it. So you have to like try to dig in and try to figure out how to help that person out without sounding too salesy. With my opportunity with football, I had to like present myself, sell myself without even being salesy. Like,
Mhm.
"Oh, coach, I run a 4.4 and I'm super fast. I can do this." It was like, I can make this play, coach. I can do it. I know I can do it. Let me show you how I can do it. And that right there alone is just a way to sell yourself. All right, who wants to come up and run this route? I got you, coach. Don't worry about it. You don't got to be like, I've always been number one and I've always ran that route first. Like, just go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get it done the first time. Don't worry about it. It's called practice, and you go over and over and over again. And I think that's how you like make that transition. And I think that's how that transition was easy for me to go into online personal training.
I love it, man. I got a few more questions for you that I'm just curious about. First things first, obviously, you've been an athlete your whole life. You've received coaching from top guys in professional leagues. How would you say that your coaching experience has translate over into coaching your clients? Been any tips or things that you've picked up from being coached that's allowed you to become a better coach for your clients?
Yeah, so my biggest thing is just to listen to what they're saying. I've learned that like we can all just give somebody a program and say, hey, this is what you got, X, Y, and Z, and hopefully you get it done. Well, if somebody's like, yo, my right shoulder hurts here, how do I adjust to that? Then it's like, okay, let me go back and figure out how I can do things to either strengthen that shoulder or we can work around that shoulder. And I think once you listen to the person, you listen to your client, they go, he really cares, or you know what I mean, or she really cares about how I'm feeling. And now you do have clients that do kind of make things up, and then like it's just because I'm sore. It's like, okay, like we got to work through that. You know what I mean? Those are little things, but you really got to ask those questions. And of course, you're going to have clients that are going to be very naggy. You know what I mean? But that's normal. Like swear to you, like nobody's gonna be a perfect client. Let me know because I want to talk to them.
Yeah, you gotta take the good with the bad there.
Yeah, but you're gonna have those people. And so I think I just had to really adjust and just listen in and then also just set the standard too. Like you don't want to have like somebody that can just always hit you up constantly 24/7 because remember you have a personal life. So I always tell my clients, hey, look, I'll answer anything or any questions when I can, like if I'm on my phone, but like there's a time where I am asleep or I'm, spending time with family and it's like, hey, that's the time that I need to focus on that. But as soon as possible, I'll get to the call and I'll get to the question when I get the chance to get back to my phone. They're cool with that. You just keep it real. Once you set the standard, keep it real with them, they understand.
Love it, man. We're gonna switch up the topic here. I want to talk about your Instagram. Your Instagram has grown a significant amount. It seems like you've gotten a good groove. You found your niche. You pretty consistent with your content. What's your strategy behind your content? Because I mean, you show a lot of your life. You show your daughters. You show your training. You show everything. So like, what's your strategy behind content? What have you found that's worked for you? And what advice would you give to someone who's looking to build their page?
Yeah. So what the craziest thing is when I first started, actually, I was at 19K on my Instagram. I actually was trying to grow my page. I got in a relationship, was trying to grow my page up. I was able to get it to about like maybe 50K at a time before I met you guys. But I was like stuck at that like moment. I was just super stuck. And it was actually crazy because my girl's mom, she actually looked at my page and she was like, yeah, it's very boring. It's very bland. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm showing my lifting and all that stuff. And like, but she was like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like all we know. And so that's when I was like, dang, I got to do something. And so that's when I did, talk to you guys. And actually it's funny because one of the coaches, Coach Jen, she actually helped me out because she was like, all right, we got to find a niche. We got to find something. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I guess we're not going to show muscles no more. But like, she was like, no, we can do that, but we got to find something that people can relate to. And so that's when I started actually showing more of my lifestyle, just like being out and about and showing how I can be a regular human being. I don't always have to be in the gym and a muscle head. And so, and then also the process of, my daughter being born, I think letting people see that and kind of join that journey allowed people to go, wow, like this is actually just a father that wants to be, a great person. And that opened up so many doors. I mean, from that 50K to now 207K on Instagram. And then I think my TikTok was 30K to now 183K.
Incredible.
It's crazy because it happened like, it took a lot of work. So it didn't happen overnight, but it just took consistency. But then after I started getting more and more people, I stayed consistent with it. So like once you get like a burst of like followers, you don't want to stop. You have to now go harder. With my content, I just went harder. I found out what people wanted to see. You do pros and cons. Okay, my workout videos might not get as much views as if I am showing something that relates to a father. Then it's like, okay, I need to balance it out, but at the same time, show what people wanted to see. And so
Mhm.
when I've done that, allowed me to build my, my following. Of course, you want to grow it more and more, but you also know that like whatever my audience is, I got to keep reaching out to them. I don't want to just switch up. Like I can't just go from that to like being a gamer. Be a gamer now. Everybody's like, what algorithm's gonna be like? What's going on here? Like, how do I approach this? So I've learned also, with the teachings and lessons that like from you guys showed like, okay, like once you figure out your niche, the algorithm will change. But like if you switch it up, it's gonna take some time for it to go to another thing. So
Mhm.
gotta stay consistent with it, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah, everybody has their own little version of like the best version of themselves, and so I realized that being a father, showing that men can also have a great body, be a dad, be strong, have good times with their kids, have the energy with the kids, even moms. They can be fit, they can be strong. Because I got people going from both ways. Can you help me out here and here? And it's like, okay, I can do both. I do specialize more on the men's side, but as well, like it doesn't matter. Like I always say, hey, if you're a parent, you're struggling, you want to get your life back, then come find me.
I love it, man. I love it. Obviously, you just had a daughter, right? Your other daughter's what? She's around 5, 6 years old?
She's 4, yeah, she's
She's
4 years.
4? Okay. So, I mean, you're obviously gonna be a really big role model for these girls. You're building a business, you and your girl, like, very, very powerful, influential people. What kind of legacy do you wanna leave for them? What do you want them to learn from you as you are going through your journey and they're watching you? What do you want them to pick up from your journey?
I think the biggest thing is I want them to pick up the habit of just hard work. Like I keep that sign above me, hustle. I want them to figure out how to hustle each and every day in life, especially as daughters, having daughters, having girls, it's going to be a little bit tougher, you know what I mean? Because like now they're going to be looked as, like they're going to be viewed sexually. right? They're gonna be viewed all these things, and you gotta have the, the breasts and the, the butt, and you gotta look this way. And I'm like, listen, life is gonna come at you so many ways. I want you to just be yourself, right? And I want you to be like, okay, my dad loves me so much that no matter what, like anybody that tries to come at me thinking that like I need love from this area or that area, like my dad has already done that. So what's next? So I'm just really trying to set the standard for them and letting them know that no matter what happens, I'm gonna always be there for them. And also just take care of all the things that I need to take care of now so that their future's set up. I want them to have the best stuff that I never had growing up as a kid. Like those are the things that as a parent now I realize that like you want to set your kid up where like if they don't get a scholarship, it's like I got money in the bank for you guys. I set that up for you guys for a reason. So now that you guys can just go to school and deal with school, you know what I mean? So those things right there is super big and super important to me. And just having that financially freedom to just kind of go out there and do what I want to do and not feel like I'm trapped in the mindset of like I gotta work for somebody. It's more like I'm working for myself and my business. It's allowed me to be more confident in who I am. Of course, you're gonna have ups and downs. That's just part of this business. But in that process, it's like I got other mentors I can talk to. And if I really help, I can just ask them, hey, I just need help here. You know what I mean? I can reach out to you. I can reach out to everybody else in this team. And it's like, okay, cool. I have a family and they understand what I go through and we're gonna get, we're gonna make it to the top.
I love it, man. It's definitely inspiring for me. Me and Megan, we're getting married this year. We're definitely talking about kids. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely talking about kids within the next couple of years. And so it's really inspiring to, see you in a fatherhood position because it's, what I've always wanted for myself. So it's
I'll be at
awesome to
the
see, man.
I'll be at the wedding. I'll give you all the tips. I'll make a
Hell
little.
yeah. Dude, last question, man. Did I see you buy a Rolex? Is that what I saw?
So the lady bought that for. So the lady actually got that for me. It was a 29th birthday gift,
Dude,
and
do you
so
have it with you? Can I see it?
it's actually upstairs. I mean, if you got time, I can.
We got time, bro.
All right, now I'll go run and go grab it.
Go
Just
grab it. Take a look.
That's the beauty right here.
Dude, it's so fitting for you, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It fits you perfectly, bro.
It was a gift, and I sat there and I said, "Okay, well, let me figure out how to get this ring soon." So
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
super excited, man. I was like, you know what, like in the collection. So it's part of the collection.
I love it.
About it, man. And I think the mindset now is just like I want to have nice things like this
Yeah,
always.
dude, I agree. I agree. I'll make sure to throw in the little speech you gave at the retreat about where you're going to be in 1 year. It'll be cool to see where you were just a few months ago to where you are now. And yeah, dude, I just want to say congratulations. You've crushed it. You're a big role model for a lot of the students in PTBI and people who are looking to start the business. So I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here and tell your story, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, brother. Well, this is going to be a big year. This is your first calendar year, January to December, as an online coach. So let's make sure to set the standard. 2023 was a warm up for you. This is year one.
Let's do it, man. I'm
All
super
right,
excited.
all right, brother. Thank you so much. We'll chat soon. Peace.